Hey guys, JH, welcome to Practice Tee. Beautiful day today, just a light breeze, 10-15 k's, just a beautiful day. Hot. Spring has sprung. Okay guys, just a couple of things today. Point I made the other day about how important it is to maintain the head position at all costs. You know, that is the axis of the golf swing and the axle of the golf swing. But what you've got to be careful of is that in doing that, having a real big intention to sort of keep the head there, that you don't restrict and interfere with the actual natural mass movement into that trail side with a little bit of rotation. Now, if you kept your head absolutely rigid and just turned away from it like that, I just feel that hardly anything transfers into my trail side. But if I do this, well, what I was trying to say the other day was that we just don't want the head to do that. If it's here, and it moves to here, but it's still perpendicular and where it should be over your spine, you can still have a little bit of a weight shift like Curtis Strange used to do. Now Curtis Strange had that Jimmy Ballard type shift where he went here and he got behind it unbelievably well, and he won all those tournaments and those couple of majors doing that. And it was interesting that when he stopped doing that, he never won another tournament. It was amazing, isn't it? When he thought everybody saw you swaying off the ball. He wasn't swaying, he was shifting. And Ballard knew that. Very understood process, the Jimmy Ballard system. Very misunderstood. But essentially it's a shift, guys, that we get here and then we transfer, but this stays here, but we just shift that there. Shift that weight into that trail side there. Really, I'm here. Because you don't want to sort of have the head there and do that. That feels very restrictive, and it is restrictive, and it really does, make it difficult on the timing, and it certainly makes it difficult on the power, and even the sequencing of the downswing. If you get a lot of shift in the backswing, it's almost like a Mike Austin pelvis shuttle here. What I was saying the other day is I don't want to do that. It's okay to do that, where we just shift that pelvis that way. That's okay, because the head's staying here and the pelvis may go underneath it. But that's why Mike Austin was as powerful as he was and as great a ball striker as he was, and why he had the precision that he did have in his golf swing, because he had the compound pivot here. His wasn't a rolling, turning one, it was a compound pivot. It was here and here. We're not talking about that, but all I'm wanting to explain and give some reference and comparison is that we can actually shift in the backswing. Shift here without rolling your axis. We can shift the axis, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. So I just wanted to make that point. So if you're feeling a little stilted and you're trying to do that, that's not good. Try and basically keep the head there, but try and shift everything this way. Yeah. Try and feel that. Yeah. Okay, that was just a point. Okay, now other things. Someone asked about the role of the lead arm and the lead shoulder, or the lead side per se, in channel lock. Now the lead arm is really important because it's basically the scriber of the radius in the golf swing. Now if you were a robot and you had full extension here and full radius lock, you would swing the club like that. There wouldn't be any breakdown in the radius. It would go here and that radius would be there, would come in here and there. Now the way I'm just trying to relate to what I do with my lead side, because the lead arm really does play an important part in sequencing the downswing, getting the lead shoulder in position on the downswing. If we take the club here and then we pull with that lead arm or the lead hand here, it pulls that lead shoulder up. Pulls it up and it actually drives weight straight down that trail side. Now it's very hard for a normal trail hand dominant person to feel like they are dominant in the initial part or stage of their downswing with their lead hand. If you're right hand, it's very hard to feel like you're going to pull with that lead hand. You don't feel any control. But you've got to cultivate it, guys. And the feeling of it is, what I feel in it, is that I push the lead arm back here, and you'll notice in my golf swing, in my practice swings, I have a bent lead arm, but I have a rigid rebar lead arm in the backswing. Now, I don't really want to have that. I've just always had it. But I would rather have a Nick Faldo soft, almost, somewhat bent lead arm. Because, guys, it doesn't matter if you bend your lead arm. As a matter of fact, I believe that the golf swing of the future is going to be a 3-lever golf swing. At the moment, it's a 2-lever. 1 lever, 2 lever. But I think it'll be a 3-lever, and this is the other lever here, that forearm. Because that's a tremendous way to create power in a golf swing. Tremendous way to create power. Okay, people will say you'd be very narrow on the backswing, JH, if you did that. Watch this. If I bend that lead arm here, okay, that is narrow in terms of the backswing. But bear in mind, guys, even if we have a big, wide, extended, wide arc in a normal golf swing, on the downswing, what do? We narrow it. We bring it in here, we narrow the golf swing. We don't go here wider. Count Yogi did, but we don't do that. So if you want to soften that lead arm up, soften it up. I know that I hit the ball a ton when I do that. I absolutely hit it 20 yards further with my driver through the air when I do that. I just haven't got a program to do it because I've never done it for any extended period of time with repetitions. But that's getting away from what I'm trying to explain about the lead side. So the lead side works like this. I get it here, I get it quite rigid, and if we're going to have a little bit of single axis or Mo Norman or DeCambo in the golf swing, and we've got a little bit of extension here instead of the gunslinger, we've got fully extended arms here. In the backswing, I just push that lead arm, lead shoulder, everything back there. Just push it back there and keep it going. Yeah, just push it back, push it back, push it back. It's a push back and a pull down. Now the way to really feel it is this, guys. Push it back in the backswing and then pull it and let the trail hand off. Pull. Let the trail hand off. Pull. Now when you pull it down, in pulling it down, rotate the lead hand. Rotate that thumb. As you pull it down, rotate the thumb into the ground. Because you just don't want to pull the lead arm down with this pinky here leading and no rotation in the forearm, because the arm will come away from your body and you'll just hit the ball out to the right. So we need to have that lead arm leading, but we need to have it rotating here. So you need to take it back here as a drill, push it back here, pull it down and rotate it. See how it finishes there? Look. That's where you've got to get it to finish, guys. The club face has got to be pointing at the target. With channel lock, the club, the arms and the hands are going that way, but the club face must be released towards the target. Now the easiest way to do that is just rotate the lead thumb down. So when you're doing this drill with the lead arm, you push it back here, pull and rotate. Pull, rotate. And what that'll do is you'll feel that the lead shoulder is blocked, which is what you want in channel lock. Now all you have to do then, in reality, is have that lead hand and arm pulling here and rotating, but with your trail hand attached. That's all you've got to do. It's got to be here, pull, here, rotate. Rotate. Here. like the pilots do when they get down to 190 knots, pull back on the yoke and they rotate. That's what we do, guys. We come down to here, pull down, launch speed, we're about takeoff, and we rotate. For all you pilots out there, I had a guy here for a lesson day before yesterday. He's a Virgin pilot. He's got 18,000 hours. Wow, 18,000 hours. It's a lot of hours, isn't it? He was a good student because he's such a disciplined guy. Everything he's ever done in his life is very disciplined, so he takes instruction unbelievably well. And he will play good golf going forward. So here we go, guys. Here it is. Push, push, pull, rotate. Push, pull, rotate. A little bit of soggy knees. Push, pull, rotate. Into some soggy knees. Just like that. There's a lot of soggy knees in that. Woo! Soggy boggy knees right there. But do that when you're training, guys, when you're practicing. Just do that, because when you overemphasize something, you'll build in, it's an insurance policy. I always say if you overdo something, providing it's not a detrimental overdo, but if you overdo something like that there, you won't have that much in your actual play golf swing, but you'll have enough in it. You'll overdo the practice, which will give you enough in the golf swing. Over here with the cows today, guys, and we've had plenty up here, and the resulting residue left by the cows is, with a strong wind, is quite earthy, as they say. So here we go. Now we're going to have this little shift here. I'm a little stiff and rigid right now. Here. So how do we take the lead side back? I feel as soon as I pull that lead hand, and it's down here, this part of the lead hand, I pull that and I push it. I push and I fling. That's what I do with that lead hand. I push, fling it like that. Now, as soon as I do that, it activates all this lead side. The lead knee will come in, lead shoulder will come around. But it's all activated. For me, I started with the hands, and particularly the lead hand. Yeah. Don't get any better than that, girls and boys. Well, that's our curtsy for the royalty. That's what I feel like, a little curtsy. Or a genuflect, isn't it called a genuflect? But I've got to tell you guys, when I overdo everything like that, I always get a great hit. And I say to myself, J.S., why wouldn't you do that in your golf swing? We saw it in Mo. Why wouldn't you do that in your golf swing? And the answer to that question is, I really don't know. But the add to that is that I really should do it. And when you think of having the soggy knees, guys, the lead knee will start on the downswing, and then you can really go after it with your hands. So we're just going to shift here. Wow. Oh, don't come down ever. Just stay up there all afternoon. It's just fantastic. Fantastic. One of the boys, just can't remember, was it John Donahue? Might have been John. Yeah, some people were suggesting that the channel lock guys are a cult, and he came up with a more apt description. He said he sees us more as a band of brothers, and we are, guys. We're channel lock brothers. We're channel lockians. That's what we are. We're channel lockians. We're the cult of channel lockians. Yeah, look, you don't have to be a sinister person to be cult-like. You can just enjoy something. What about the Elvis cult? When they had the Elvis cult, there was nothing sinister about that. Well, but anybody wants to think it's sinister, think it's sinister. I really don't care. But Band of Brothers, the Channel Lockers, the Channel Lockians. That's what we are. We're a band of Channel Lockians. And this really is a small group of people who want to change the status quo in a golf swing. And the reason we want to change that is because the status quo just hasn't performed for us traditionally. We wouldn't be where we are here looking at this, and talking about this, if we'd have been totally convinced that conventional golf swing is the be-all, end-all, and it works well for us, because it hasn't in the past. And so that's where we are. So we are Channel Lockians, a band of brothers, Channel Lockians. Actually, Billy Phillips, with your Pickwick this year, you could call it the Channel Lockian Gathering at Pickwick. Channel Lockians. So here we're gonna shift in here. Now that's very, very, very Mo Normanish, and that is very, very, very long. Yeah, we've got a little bit of down, but I mean that's, as Bill Phillips says, how do you describe channel lock? It's scary good. Well, that was scary long. Hey, guys, I'll be 77 this year. I'm a broken down old dude. Can't go hitting irons that far at this age. That's as far as I hit it when I was at my strongest and youngest. So okay, let's go over that again. Here, we're going to start it down with that lead hand. We're going to pull it down, pull, rotate, pull, rotate. Now pull and rotate with the trail hand on. See how the trail hand arm will extend if you do that? That's what it is, guys. So it's a pull and rotate. But just do that little exercise with the trail hand off and get that feeling, and you'll feel that. You'll get your thumb pointing there, straight there. You'll know you've released the golf club. You look like that. That's how it should look. It shouldn't look like that. We don't want to have a lead arm doing that. That just gets too much separation going that way. We need to have that. Okay guys, there were just a few points today. But the lead side, for me, the lead arm starts back with a push of the lead hand underneath here, those fingers. I push those there. That's what I do. That's what they feel like. Just push them there. And that takes everything back. But if you want to, if in your backswing with channel lock, if you want to feel that you just shuttle your hips under like that, but your head stays here, nothing wrong with that. And then you can just shuttle your hips back this way. Very Mike Austin. That's called a compound pivot. Very powerful. And he was so powerful. Probably the most powerful golf swing in conventional golf history is Mike Austin. Well, he holds the Guinness Book of Records for the long drive. 515 yards with a 43-inch wooden golf club in 1966. 515 yards in a tournament. Over a quarter of a mile. Okay, so we're going to pull. So we push back, compound pivot here, pull, pull, yeah, rotate, pull, rotate, pull, rotate, rotate, rotate. Okay guys, just a couple of little things, but I think they'll be beneficial for you. And if you are someone who is, and the guy who asked for the explanation on that lead side, the guy who asked for that on the channel is a left-hander playing right-handed, like Johnny Miller and Mo Norman. So you should be able to really pull with that lead arm easily, but don't pull it like that. Pull it like that, as if you had a frisbee here. Your lead hand, you just want to throw the frisbee up, straight up in the air like that. There it is. We don't want to skim it here. We want to throw the frisbee vertically up. That's the feeling. Hitchhike here, guys. Going my way. That's what we want. Okay, guys, have a look at that. I'll do some more over the weekend if the weather's good.